Hey, what's up, y'all? Hold on, let me take the sunnies off. I want to thank you, Eye to Eye, for checking out Sway's Universe. And I appreciate it. We got so many videos we want you to see, so push that notification button for me. Do it now and enjoy the video. Peace.
This is Sway.
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 In the morning.
In the morning.
In the morning.
Don't shake your body.
Wake your fuck ass up. That crust out your eyes.
Ladies and gentlemen, Will Strickland.
Woo!
That almost felt as good as John Corbett's clap.
You want it better than that?
No, it was great.
Okay.
I'm just a humble servant and a citizen.
Yeah, it's a
So-
citizen.
And a citizen.
I'm trying to make sure I play my position and be a part. And I definitely want to thank you guys for having me on to talk about lots of things, including what we were just talking about off air.
We're not gonna take a deep dive in that off air.
I know. But you know what it is.
But Will, you've worked in the music business for how long?
I am almost 50 now.
Oh wow. Okay.
So I've been doing this as a professional since I was 15. I used to do a mix show when I was in high school on a commercial radio station, a small station in Killeen, Texas. My dear old dad, blessed dad, he used to be in the military. And my last 2 years of high school, a year and a half, I did them in Texas. And I used to do a lunchtime mix show. I would skip my lunch to go do this mix show. And people were like, you sacrifice your lunch to go do a mix show? Like, this was when it first started.
Yeah.
There was no mix shows back in the early, mid-'80s or whatever. And I said, well, if you think of anything you do to advance your life as a sacrifice, you've already lost. It was an attribute I was adding to my life, and it enhanced my life in a way that when I went to university and started my own radio show there, and I was promoting a record, the Bass 917 Zone. If I recall correctly, and Jesse Washington, who's playing in this tournament today, we'll talk about in a second, was the editor-in-chief at Blaze Magazine back in the day.
Blaze.
Wow. Blaze
And
magazine.
they had some sort of rating system of the greatest college rap radio shows in history. Of course, for a lot of people who don't know, the number one was voted Stretch and Bobbito, right? Number two, Bay Area favorite, KZF2, the drum, at Stanford, Kevy Kev. And number three, oddly enough, and we all know each other for years, 30 years almost, the Bass 917 Zone with your man with Chill Will Strickland. So
Well, there it is.
It's
There you
crazy.
go. Who's some of the artists you broke on your show?
How much time you have, buddy? No,
Just name a few.
No, I mean, we had, when I first got to Texas, I couldn't hear anything in Houston. And then I hung out with Scarface one day.
Yeah.
And it changed my whole perspective about why they talked about what they spoke about. Because when you go with a New York attitude down south, you're blinders, you have a narrow cast vision of what it should sound like. And then you go to those neighborhoods they talk about. And we hear Face come on, he on a mission to become a ball player.
Yeah.
Fake big Benz, flossing on gators. You understand now. So to be a part of that, and I think that's really what the essence of hip-hop culture is, if you think about it.
Yeah.
Like, you go somewhere and you understand that their version of it, they have a respect for it, and this is how they do it. And when you start to embrace that, that's really where the exchange comes in. I call it cultural currency.
Yes.
Right? We do that all around the world. When you put your record out, and when people see you on the street, Sway, they know what you've done with MTV. They know what you do in all your media.
Yeah.
I mean, you do a lot of media. But they don't know you from the Sway and Tech Times.
No,
I mean, I got some young cats with me from Toronto right now, Nolan and Manny, who are like barely 30, who don't know that 30 years ago, I was promoting your records.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's how we met. And we talk about relationships and how those relationships get nurtured. And it's not always business. It's not always friends. But we keep in touch because once you make that connection and exchange that cultural currency, you can't put a dollar figure on that.
Yeah.
It just, like the time and effort you give to even reach out and say, you know what, Sway, I'm dead tired. But, or, I know I'm not a celebrity or whatever, but we wanted to come up, pay respect to the show. We're in the city for the tournament, whatever, and just say hello to an old friend.
Yeah. And that's why he's here today. And I was like, Kelly told me, Will's in town. Oh, really? He gonna come up to the show? Oh, man, this is my brother. He's been through the struggle. We all, we were in different places, but living parallel lives,
Right.
and then you went up to Toronto.
Yeah. I came back home from New York and was working. I worked at Epic Records and RCA Records, put out the Wu-Tang album, was instrumental in doing a lot with Wu-Tang and RZA back in the day, and went over to Epic and put out Ghostface. Did the first ever online concert in Black music history, February 18th, 1997.
Wow.
With Ghostface, Capadonna, or should I say Dennis Coles, Corey Woods, and Daryl Hill, if you want to know. That's Capadonna, Ray, and Ghost. And that led to a lot of what we were doing now online. But it's a big deal, and being able to go up and also teaching the first ever university accredited course on hip hop culture. Not about an aspect of the culture, not pop, Tupac's poetry or whatever, the actual culture. At the University of Massachusetts Amherst back in 1998, called Edutainment: The Impact of Hip Hop on American Culture.
I remember that.
And having the opportunity to take what we do and put it into academia and then intelligentsia, and the way that we did it was important for me because there were other people trying to tell our story. And I'm a very proactive person. I don't want to be the person, oh, look at what they did, because I've never seen they before. Well, what are you doing? So at the end of the day, you do it, and then you take it, and then you have to keep, what do you do with it after you've done it? Like, I could have been like, okay, I kidnapped Kool Herc because his sister Cindy wouldn't let him come up. I had to kidnap him. Why are we in Connecticut? Oh, don't worry about it. Just driving to Massachusetts. I'm driving Fred Rerun Berry and battle him in my class.
Wow.
Before he died.
Rerun
from What's Happening.
From What's Happening. Prior to that, he was a Soul Train dancer.
Right.
One of the early generation Soul Train dancers did What's Happening. With
Don Campbell, Campbell, and those guys. When we think about popping and locking, that was more West Coast.
Damn, did you say Don?
Don Campbell, Campbell. Like, you have to know the history. This is what I do for a living, right? So to have Fred Rerun Berry and have to show them VHS tapes of what's happening in class, and then say, you ain't got it no more, Rerun, and battle him. Start freezes and he beats me in class. Like, that's those images, and like, that's how you give back to the culture, because I'm not rapping, I'm not dancing, I'm not DJing anymore, I'm definitely not throwing up graffiti, but in the way that I can take this thing now that is a multi-billion-dollar business and understand that where it came from, I was at the genesis of that,
Awesome.
And to see it make it happen, been fortunate, man.
Been very fortunate. Been very blessed.
No doubt.
So, which goes to, so people can have understanding of why some of the guys who've been in it for so long be, I don't know if it's disappointed or, not even disappointed. We're trying to be encouraging. Like, don't take these moments for granted. If you knew what it took to get to this point.
You just said it, though. Don't take it for granted, because in the digital age, you could be hot on Friday and cooked on Monday, Tuesday, and people forget about you. And you're like tapping at the door, and they're like, oh, you're old news. You're somebody else. And those relationships that you nurtured early on end up coming back like, you know what, I'm not rapping anymore, Sway, but maybe we can do something together. Or maybe, I respect, people will give you that time of day. If you respect the craft, you respect the culture, you respect people. I mean, that's the easiest thing to do, is respect somebody. All you have to do is say hello 90% of the time. That's enough. Acknowledge their presence, and that's enough. So I get being tired sometimes. If this is your vocation, the one you chose to make a living and be known for, and this is one of the biggest platforms you could have, you don't disrespect that.
Will Strickland. Hey, what's your social media if people want to talk to you more about just what you're saying?
Well, you can find me on Twitter at WallStrizzle and the number 1. You can find me on Instagram. I try to do it for the gram now. I'm old, but I do it for the gram every once in a while. Will Strickland, the number 1, and I'm on Facebook. But you can only find me at Facebook. It's not under my name. I used to run this organization. I was the first American president of the Urban Music Association of Canada, which, I like being first in everything except being last. That's just me, right? And going up to Canada and like getting involved in the industry and getting involved in the culture, and then being able to contribute in a way that made sense not only to Canadians but to me, was important for me. So you can find me on Facebook at Thelonious Monk.
Thelonious Monk.
Thelonious.
Oh, Thelonious Monk.
The actual Thelonious Sphere Monk. And the reason I chose that name is because he's the greatest jazz composer of all time, in my opinion. Ellington is great. Don't get me wrong. He composed a lot, but Monk did just a little bit, and everything he did was supposedly wrong, but it ends up being right. So this thing that we do that was supposed to be a fad, that was supposed to die after 5 years, whatever the case might be, is still here, and the most prominent thing in the world right now. So everything he did was supposedly wrong is all of a sudden right. And so sometimes if you believe in what you do enough, it comes to fruition. Let's bring truth to power.
Truth
Straight
to
up,
power.
all day.
Real quick, who are these young men right here? Say your names, man. Get on the mic, man. Come here, man. Get on the mic, man. Come on.
Don't
go on.
be scared.
Who
Go
we
ahead.
got here right here, man? Say
your names.
Nolan Gooden.
Nolan Gooden.
Manny Campbell.
Manny Campbell. What do you guys do? What do you hear, man? What's this full court 21 all world thing?
All right, I'm going to do that part.
Okay, we'll
I'm
do
gonna
that part first.
The full court 21 is an invention by Bobito Garcia. If you're not familiar with who Bobito is, then you should not be involved with hip hop culture at all.
Or get familiar.
But
Get
for real.
familiar.
Yeah, more positive.
Right.
Yeah.
You got it. You got it. But Bobito Garcia invented the game. Full Court 21 Canada is the world's most unique basketball tournament. When you think about the first time you played basketball as a kid, whether you played off the garage or played against your brother and sister in the driveway, the first time you go to the park and play against people you don't know, this is what this tournament's all about. This is where you learn your skills. But also, it's not just about basketball. It's about interactions, about relationships. We've been talking about that all day. And people from around the world, we have 24 countries or 24 cities on 4 continents who are playing in the World Final tonight in New York City at the Goat Park, Rock City Park, 99th in Amsterdam. And these young people from Canada are coming to rep to try to win a world title. You know, I do it in Canada, in 5 cities in Canada, Edmonton, Toronto, Vancouver, Montreal, and Halifax. They are representing Toronto and Montreal today.
Okay, that's what's up. And it's two. But it's two.
No, it's 21. You know,
101.
No, it's 21. So,
Okay.
you know, it could be with a group of people.
Okay.
You'll probably play against 5 other guys.
Okay.
There's no out of bounds. First one to 21 wins it all. And it's a really
You don't have to win by 2. In
No.
20, no. Okay, first one to 21 wins it all.
And it's full court. Normally when you play, like if you shoot sweat and you miss and I get the rebound, I have to take it back behind the arc, reset it, and try to score.
Yeah.
In this, I get the rebound. I have to go to the other end and score. And they have to try and stop me. And that's
Wow.
impossible.
That's
That's
a
why
lot.
I'm not playing right now because I'm nice like that. But that's a whole nother conversation.
No, I know me.
That's a whole nother.
Yeah, I can relate.
You know, I do work.
Wow.
If people want to find out more about it, it's somewhere they could go online.
Absolutely. Fullcourt21nyc.com. We'll all be there tonight. It starts at 6 o'clock. It doesn't take that long, just a couple of hours. So your investment is not money, really. It's just time and effort and love. And we love that. So
Will
come on
Strickland, man. That's my man.
I got something for you guys. I didn't bring enough for everyone,
What you bring?
but I got some Full Court 21 Canada shirts. And the deal is with that is that we have a slogan. So when people hear me and walk around the street, and I'm like, have you guys heard the word? They're like, the word? We talked about Creflo Dollar early. And they go, the word? They think I'm talking religion. I said, I got them shirts for Court 21 Canada. I'm selling shirts. So, you know,
okay, all right.
I keep it funky.
Man, that was very funky, Will.
No, I keep it 90s street teamish.
Okay.
You know, so
Okay. All right. All right.
I come from that era.
Yeah, you got,
know, so-
you got the billboards, the bullhorn.
You know
the
what
whole
it is.
Yeah, I
you know
got
what it is. But I appreciate you guys having me on. Of course, Heather just let me know. I forgot. It's been last time we saw each other was 2015, the NBA All-Star Game in Toronto. I thought it was last year. I forgot it's 2017.
2017, and
Time flies.
yeah, you came to the show. We did our thing.
Had a great time. AI was there. We did the Reebok thing with capsules. So it was a good time, and it's just great seeing you guys again. And
Good. Great seeing you.
continued success.
Thank you, Will. Love you,
Always.
brother.
Love you too,
already
man.
know, man.
Always.
You guys seem like y'all got game. I don't know. Come out and check it out.
Canada's going to win it.
You know,
We the North.
They cocky right now with Drake and everybody the weekend. They cocky right now, huh? Light skin, the whole light skin thing. You know, yeah, okay, all right.
They winning.
All right, hang out for a little bit. Okay, Stump Wonder is up next. You want to stump them? 888-742-3345. It's my man Scarface, yeah.
Take it rough. It's Sway in the morning, only on Shea 45.